Yeah, I just keep it steady on the magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't know now, you know. Only one rain myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off, take off, take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout to take off. Ooh, she bout.
What up, everybody? It's your girl Hannah, aka Ruta, and you are watching the Uprooted Network. Welcome back to Black Women Wednesdays. Yeah, I'm so excited because those of you who are watching, you already know who I got on the screen. It's my girl Feben, all the way from Canada. You know, we be acting like she hella far away. You know, that's right upstairs, okay? But
Literally.
whatever shit. You get a passport stamp, so still counts. Y'all will remember Feben from a lot of different things, which we will cover today, but most importantly, I think it's her work with United Tegaru Canada. I have seen from the inception what you guys have grown to, and I'm so excited to catch up with you, sis. Welcome back, Feben. How you feeling?
Hi, Ruti. Thank you for having me. Last time I was here, I had to share the space with my girls, but today you gave me the platform all to myself.
Yes.
So thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. What do you mean? Everybody knows Feben. That's it. I
Don't do
remember.
that.
Oh yeah, what do you mean? I have to do this. Listen, everybody. Feben is my internet friend turned my real friend. It has been quite the journey over the last year and a half, I would say, at this point. So this, if you heard the half, that means that was before the war, guys. So um we've been putting it in, and it's just been interesting to like watch you grow and see what you're all doing and everything. So first and foremost, if people didn't know because they're living under a rock or something, I don't know why they wouldn't. Could you let the people know a little bit about what you do? It's the list is long, y'all. So if she forgets
Girl.
something, I will add to it. No problem. Go ahead, Mai.
Okay, Ruta is giving a free gas today. I really don't do that much, but I will speak on United Tegaru Canada. So we are pretty much just a group of Canadian Tagarus who started. Well, really, we started from the crisis group me. Remember how that? Yeah. So
Girl, all 500 of us.
yes, exactly. We started there, and then we just realized like, hey, we need a group for Canadians. So we moved into a group meet just for Canadians, right? And then from there we just had a big group chat of all of us across the country. And I don't know, people probably remember me. I was like really annoying on social media, being like, guys, if you're Canadian, DM me, email Canadians for Tigray at gmail.com. Like I was really doing the most. But anyways, we finally got a big enough group, and then probably I would say in January this year, we branded ourselves as United Tegaru Canada. Before that, we were just Tegarus in Canada. We didn't really have a name or an organization.
We love it.
Yeah, we were just a group. We didn't have a name. So, anyways, now here we are, UTC. In I'd say like April-ish, we became official. We became like a actual non for profit, and yeah, so that's how we kind of started, and like really started from nowhere and then built ourselves up. And then since then we've done a number of things. Like a lot of people really like Tariq Time, which is the podcast that mainly Danny and Uncle have like put together. It's really dedicated to teaching Tagarus about, well, actually anybody who's willing to learn about Tigris history, just about everything about our history from the beginning all the way to present day. They're also on Clubhouse often talking about the history, just teaching people. So that was a big hit. A lot of people really love that. It made things so easy. You know, you didn't have to read a ancient textbook in Tigrinya to know our history. They just
That part.
modernized everything, right? So that was a big hit. We've had a bunch of different webinars in the past, actually, and on Monday we have another one coming up. It's about the implication of war on families and children. So that'll be on Monday. There's some speakers from HPN and a bunch of other people. So tune into that. If you're not registered, go to United Tegaru Canada's Instagram page and you can register on there. It'll be like a Zoom webinar. It'll be a good one.
Listen, always on task. First of all, she's supposed to be introducing herself in the work. She said, "Oh, and by the way, we have events, so we need you guys to be on time." Let me tell you something about Febu. She does not ever forget her job. Okay. Maybe we'll come into whatever conversation we're having in the middle of it and go, "Oh wait, guys, by the way, before I forget," like that's exactly how you say it too.
You know why? Because you know me, like I will go off topic. Like somebody will bring something up and I'll be talking about that and be like, damn, I forgot what I came here for, you know? So I gotta plug it in at all chances, every opportunity I get.
Man, PR team, okay, that's it. Baranan. Like this one, PR everywhere she goes. She's ready. She's always ready. She has her shop control gear on. I'm rocking free Tigray today. You know, friends of friends. All of us run in the same circle.
Yep.
But no, there's things in there. Now I wanted to slow you down and break a couple things down for people who may not be familiar, right? Because I think at this point, hopefully, the Tagado community is aware of all the different countries that we exist in, the different organizations you can join in each country. If not, plug in with me. I got you. Like, there's groups that I didn't know existed, but somehow they have an Instagram page. So, you will be surprised. But I think there was a lot of gems in what you said in terms of how you started. It was very organic, or how y'all started, I should say, as a collective. It was, I remember I even messaged you at some point. I was like, what are you talking about? Anytime somebody says Canada, I said Feben. Like, that's it. I don't know.
You and everybody else. I swear there was a period of time, like I felt like people thought I was the only Tigrawati in Canada. I'm like, guys, there's like a whole team of us, you know?
Yeah. That's it, because you became spokesperson because you're always on PR. Like, you're like on mission, on brand all the time. You're like, guys, by the way, we can continue to kiki after this, but let me just tell you guys this. It's we have this program. I need you guys, everybody needs to be there on Monday. I already messaged you the link. The link is sitting in
Bro,
your
I'm
inbox.
annoying.
No, it's like so good. Dawi, Ripka, have joined the on chat, and they're saying Feiwu with the hearts and the fire emojis, all those things.
Hi guys.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's okay. We need it. Somebody has to remind us, bro. We don't know where our mind is half the day. So with everything going on all day, every day, we need somebody to constantly remind us. I would say that's probably why people gravitate towards you, and why you're able to build community and like create structure, is because you put yourself out there in a community that's very like, we're loud about like community, right? Like group efforts, but like individually we are not. And that's something I'm thinking about. I feel like we all have learned so much to be a part of the group that we struggle with the individual part. Why we don't do as well in Western countries. Like, it takes us a lot longer because that's just not how our culture is built. But you were that person for a long time. I was like, Feiwu and Canada just made sense. Like, I think, you're probably saved that way in people's like contacts.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure.
That's it. Oh, we got Sammy's in the group. Who's Peacemaker? I don't know who Peacemaker is, but they on YouTube. They love you, Feiwu. And while y'all on YouTube, you better go subscribe to Uprooted Network, y'all. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all over here. You just shacking up. You just kicking it. Like, y'all don't know how to hit the subscribe, the follow, and put the notice up. Just again, a reminder. So there's gems though. So I want us to think about it. It's like, you already were a person on the social networks, building community, looking for Tagado. Do you remember? So let's take it back a little bit for people, since this, you get an individual episode, you get an individual story. So Feiwu,
story time.
Feiwu was one of the first like few people who actually followed Uprooted Network way back when I first started, okay? Like when they used to have me on lives for no reason, just bored on quarantine, talking about, oh yeah, keep going, in the comments, just kikiing like all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm just much outy, like I'm your guys' like entertainment. I don't understand.
It was relatable entertainment. It wasn't just entertainment. It was like, we felt that.
Yes, I can tell because I used to be on lives for like 3 hours. I'm like, y'all, okay, I'm tired. I need to go home. I need to go sleep.
No, wait. I need to tell them. She would be like, okay, guys, like the hour mark is about to hit. Like, should I keep going? Should I not? Like, I would be in her DMs. Guys, this is before we became friends, right? I'd be in her DMs like, no, Ruta, yes, come back. Like, we're not done talking about parents not knowing boundaries or like whatever the topic was,
Yes, that's literally it. That's what I'm looking at. You can't really see it that well. But the first message she sent me, July 27, 2020. Okay, we can mark this because our notes have it. She said, yes, girl, come back on and please talk about boundaries. That is so relatable to all of us Habeshas. You verbatim just repeated yourself. Like, you don't even remember this conversation.
Bro,
And
I'm consistent. Like, you see?
That's it. And I was like, I got you. After the show, she came back. And this is true to Febu's character. And this is what I wanted to relate to the story you're telling about the reason why you're able to help build community. And the reason why you're able to connect. You're a plug, but it's because you show love all the time. You show up all the time. So then Febu messages me later and she's like, I've been meaning to tell you that I love your podcast so much. All the content has been such good topics week to week, and especially being from Tigray, I love how this is a platform for us, and we're a small group, and it's really nice to see you bringing us all together. This is coming from somebody who is also bringing everybody together in Canada, holding it down for the team. I don't think anybody would disagree that you have not put Canada on the map. Canadian Tagados, like, who knew? Like, like, what are you talking about? Canadians were like you definitely were in everybody's DMs. You were in everybody's comment section.
It really
you were in everybody's show. Like, hi guys, I'm Feben. Like, very like not shy, like, and.
Bro, don't remind me. I do too much. Much sometimes.
You do exactly enough to make everybody else feel comfortable because so many of us are like shy or have hifret or whatever. So you need a Fable in your life that's gonna like put that battery in your back. Like, okay, guys, we can do this. I'm like, yeah, we can. You're right. All right, we're gonna do this. Like, but I'd be tired. You'd be pulling us back. So, literally with UTC and the work that you're able to do there. You guys, like, literally it's everybody came together because there's a common goal and a mission of where our people are hurting, they're in pain. Like, let's do something about that. Let's advocate. Let's organize. And that you can't, like, you're stronger together than you are apart. And so the want and need for you to like connect the diaspora already existed. So I think that's why like it was easy for you to transition into like, okay, like local community, like let's pull it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but one thing about your what
I
was
said,
about to say?
Said, hey Febu, I'm just letting you know you got love in the chat.
Thanks, guys.
Young Mesmore is in here. He said that's love. I'm telling y'all, Febu really is the thing. She out here. She the one.
Thanks, Rita. Well, the thing is, like, about your podcast, like, even Magda. So Magda's my friend from Ottawa, right? And like, I try to tell all my friends when I first discovered your account, I was like, guys, like, everything she talks about, all she does is spit like straight facts, like any topic, whether it's like Habesha dating or like your really the one that resonated the most was the parents not respecting boundaries. Like, I don't know how y'all grew up, but that one definitely I understood it. So and like all my friends, everybody felt the same way. So it was just nice to really like have a like a Habesha platform that felt so relatable, and I felt so connected. Like especially because your platform was really, there was a lot of Tagados tuned in, and I didn't feel like I knew a lot of diaspora Tagados outside of my city. So it was nice. It felt like you just feel comfortable. So it was really for me, one thing about me, when I believe in something, like I'm riding with it all the way.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, till the wheels fall off. She ain't playing. Yeah. And you've been going, and I've seen you guys grow. Like, I've seen like everyone who connected back in the day, I say back in the day, bro, like this has been 10 years or something. But bro, this year
November.
it has aged us. I found some white hairs, but we'll talk about that offline.
Mm-hmm. Me too,
What
man.
what I'll say is like it's so clear to me. Like Dawit's in this chat. He used to be early on, right? Y'all used to kiki in the comments, right? So it's like we have
Yep.
seen and been able to connect and do all of these things. And I was so proud to see, because those who forget, because you know Feben, she never likes to talk about herself. Fable was a whole nurse, okay? Like she's a whole nurse. She actually has a big girl job. She works at a hospital. You know, she's responsible for patients. I just have to
Yep.
let people know, because you know we are Kiki and like girlfriends, so I want people to know, like, no, she has a whole like job and responsibility and everything else on top of the advocacy, on top of building community, on top of showing up for your friends and checking in, and all of these things. And so you recently, not just you, but UTC, you guys were able to recently start to send medical kits back to Tigray. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
that's for you two birds, one stone. Like you're in the medical profession, you understand the need, and you guys have been fundraising and being able to do that. So can
Yep.
you talk about how like that is possible? Because I know you said that you guys were also able to get your nonprofit status.
So yeah, so me being a nurse, you're right. I sometimes myself I forget that I have a job, because you know when the war started, a lot of, like, for me it became a second job, like the secondary job to me. You know, advocacy kind of became took first place and took priority. I couldn't really, I mean, you know this, but people probably don't know. Like even at the beginning of the war, like I took some time off of work because I just felt like I needed to put my energy into the advocacy for Tigray, and I just felt like I couldn't do both. I wasn't prior, you know. I mean, obviously, I have to be focused at work, and my mind was not there. Like I wanted to be doing work for Tigray, and I wasn't trying to be at work doing my real job, which requires actual attention. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that's why people might not know that I am a nurse. Yes, surprise. But it took kind of a backseat during this time of the war. But yes, so thank you for bringing up the partnership we have. So UTC, we partnered with a charity organization, a Canadian organization called uh, Health Professionals International Canada, and Health Partners, sorry. And they're an org that gets medication donated to them from pharmaceutical companies. They're the only one in Canada that has this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we partnered with them to basically team up with them to so that they could send medicine or medical aid to Tigray. So each humanitarian kit contains about 6,000 medical treatments, and we are sending 40 humanitarian kits. So in the end, it ends up being 24,000 medical treatments. So to do that, the goal is to raise $40,000, and the money ends up being helping towards mobilizing all this medication. So actually, this shirt from Shop
Okay.
Gonjo. So we partnered with Shop Gonjo and actually Shop Bahrana as well. Proceeds from some of their items on their website are going to be donated to this campaign. If you want to donate, guys, actually go to Canada Helps. It's kind of like the Canadian GoFundMe, and you get a tax receipt if you donate more than $10. So you could actually go do that now if you haven't already donated. I definitely harass a lot of people early on in the game, but if I didn't get to you and you're watching this, please go to Canada Helps, and you can just search Tigray. It should pop up. You'll get a tax receipt. So yeah, this shirt from Shop Gonjo's line, she just dropped it. It's a sweater. It's very, very, very comfortable. I recommend you all getting it. It proceeds from that and a couple other things in her line, and also Shop Bahrana will be donated. What else? What else? I think I said everything about that. Mish?
Yeah, but I'm curious. Did you know about this organization like through your work, or was it
No.
okay,
Mm-mm.
tell us
So
how did that happen?
basically, something we do in UTC, we just hit up a lot of different orgs to see like how they can help us in our advocacy. And one of the girls, Heaven, shout out to Heaven if she's watching this.
Okay.
She she actually reached out to them. She had just done some research. She saw, because HPIC, they're really known. They're not new to this. They've been doing this. They've done this with like over 100 different countries. So she found them through her research, and she just emailed them saying like, this is what's happening in Tigray. Like, we don't have medication. There's a limited amount of everything there. How can you help us? And they said, okay, bet, let's do this. We can team up with you guys and just raise the money and send the kits to Tigray. So they actually did send, before they even teamed up with us, they had teamed up with a different organization. I can't remember what they're called, and sent already 10 humanitarian kits, so 6,000 medical supply or medical treatments to Tigray in June, I think. So yeah, so they're really legit. They're experienced. They've done this for I think over 30 years or something like that. So yeah, it wasn't actually through my work. It was just by luck, pretty much.
We love that. So there's a couple gems for people. Let me pick them out for you. One, as a group, there's outreach that's being done, right? So people think about advocacy and they just think about like protests and they think about yelling and screaming or like Twitter campaigns. That's part of advocacy, but the other part is community outreach. So from one organization to another, it's a lot easier to build partnership through communities, right? Not just person to person is powerful too, because that might introduce you to a network or it might bring up an idea, but there's parts to that. So one, you guys are getting together as a group, you're brainstorming like what work can we do, who can we partner with, who can we collaborate with. But two, also having a nonprofit status helps, right? Because they know that you're not, you asking for favors, it's not really, right? It's a tax write-off for people, so you're doing good and you get rewarded for doing good. But also it's much easier to walk up, or like reach out to another organization because they know that you guys are also putting in work to be organized. So there's keys there, and I want people to pick those out for anybody who's still learning, growing as an org. Like community outreach, if it's not like a position on your team, then it definitely should be a goal, like at least.
And I would actually add too that, because before we became incorporated, we were hemming and hawing a lot. We were just like, should we just stay as, United Tegaru Canada, like nothing legitimate on paper, right? We didn't just leave it as it is, don't apply for anything. We hemmed and hawed a lot about that, because obviously when you become a legitimate organization, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just like, wake up and go and boom, now you have a name and a title. So we went back and forth about it a lot, but I will say at the end of the day, we definitely made the right decision, because your name carries a little bit more weight when somebody can look you up and see, yeah, okay, this is a legitimate organization. They take what you're saying more seriously. Like I could send emails from my personal account, but they're going to be like, who's this girl? You know what I mean? Who is she? What does she do? Like, they don't take it as seriously. But when I send emails from like the actual United Tegaru Canada's email address, like I get responses back. People want to have meetings with us. We've had meetings with so many different organizations. So I would say if you're thinking about becoming incorporated, do it, because a lot comes with that too. Like you can get a lot of free discounts. Like Google has discounts for, like Google Spaces and stuff like that. Canva, like there's a lot of discounts available to you once you become incorporated and you're in a non-for-profit. So I recommend it.
Because listen, the only obstacle is the paperwork. That's really it. That's it. And it's just like, once you can fix your mind to do that and understand, because I myself, as a first generation and the oldest child, I have a little bit of PTSD with filling out forms because I've had to do them my entire life, and I'm fed up personally. But for the rest of y'all who do not have this PTSD, and even if you do, it's
still worth it.
Like it's still worth it. You can always pay to have somebody do it if you really don't want to, but it's just, you're already doing the work. The only thing keeping you from being quote unquote legitimate is a piece of paper saying that you are, because that's really what the West runs on, pieces of paper. Literally,
exactly.
Quite literally. Exactly. That's it. It's just forms. Did you fill out the right form? Did it get to the right person on time? Did you pay the fee? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like it's really not that deep. They really try to make you feel like it's scarier than it is, but it's not.
Yeah, you're right, because we didn't change our work at all. Like we're doing the same stuff we were doing before we got that piece of paper signed. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
yeah, I recommend if you're building yourself as an organization, you should just do it because there's a lot more than cons.
That's what I'm saying. So I wanted to like mine those gems out of you a little bit because I'm like, y'all, this is someone who a year ago was not thinking about being a part of or running a nonprofit, right?
Oh
Like,
hell no. No, not you. If you saw me a year ago today, like at this, I never expected my life to be where it is right now. Seriously, nobody could have. I'm sure that, like, it goes for all. Well, a lot of Tagarus. I shouldn't speak for everybody, but woo, boy, I did not expect my life to be the way it is today. I could have never predicted this. But anyways, it is what it is.
it is a lot. It is insane. And when you're not doing all of those things, you're finding a way to balance it all. So for those of you who were not keeping score, like or keeping track, again, we got a lot of titles. We got nurse, okay, like actual job. Um, we got nonprofit UTC, United Tegaru Canada. Their work with different partnerships, webinars that they're doing on top of protest, on top of reaching out to officials, on top of
Mhm.
working and collabing on getting medical kits sent, and I'm sure still working on other projects like continuing to scale and grow. Tariq Time, we know Uncle and Danny take the brunt of that, but if you think that the rest of the UTC team is sitting there pretty while they do all the work, you are confused. You are confused. I know that your social media team is popping. Um,
Mhm.
they out here. Okay, I forgot to tweet. They tweeted today. Thank you to whoever did. Like, it's really and truly a team effort.
It
And
is.
I know that more of them are wanting to step up and step out, which I'm really glad and happy to see because I know Fable was tired of being the only one
Ooh.
spokesperson. Um,
Yep.
but it's it has to start, right? Like everybody needs somebody to start.
Yeah.
Or not everybody, but like most movements, you need somebody to start. Like one person needs to get up, put their hand up, and then the rest will follow.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy position to be in, so I do want to ask you, because I know, because I'm your friend, but I just want to ask you for the sake of the rest of the people, what has it been like to be you to juggle? Like, I just want to check in. This is what a role model. Let me role model to people how you check in on your friends. What's your self care looking like? How are you managing? Are you managing? Like, let's take a second to because we
Mhm.
just talked about a lot of stuff that you do. So let's also think about like you, the person, Febu, as a human being. How are you doing?
Okay, guys, by the way, before I even get into that,
Mhm.
Ruta, she is very good at like asking those uncomfortable questions that when people are like, yo, how are you doing? You're just like, yeah, good, 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 good. She'll be like, no, 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 but like, how are you really doing? And what did you do to become good? Like she wants
Yeah.
to get into it. So thank you though, honestly, because sometimes we need to talk about these things. So I'm all right, I mean, I'll say this at the beginning, like you said, I felt I was like, okay, I don't know why the whole world thinks I'm the only Canadian. Like, you can hit up other people too, guys. It was like they only knew I existed, which is
Hmm.
not their fault, but it was a lie. It was really a lot because everybody would ask me to do everything, and I'm only one person, right?
Hmm.
But I would say over time, like, and the one thing I just want everybody to know, my team, like United Tegaru Canada, is such a great team. Like, everybody does so much stuff, and I really want people to know that because I think people think I do everything, and I don't. There's a lot of people doing so many things behind the scenes that you just don't know their names or that they exist, but they're really doing way more work than even I am. So they helped me a lot. They took a lot off my plate, and so that made things be a lot better for sure. What else? I mean, outside of people, oh, you know what, Ruta taught me one thing: say
Mm.
no. She
Okay.
taught me to say no. Actually, I'll say that.
Yes.
So definitely, I mean, when I was off work, I had a lot more time to do a lot of things, right? And that was probably also the stressfulest time because I was doing too much stuff. But anyways, when I went back to work, I realized, and talking to a lot of smart people like Ruta, who said, "Don't, you got to learn to say no once in a while." I started taking their advice, and I would give that same advice to anybody in the audience listening who feels overwhelmed. Sometimes it's okay to say, "Oh, I can't do that," because we know how much work we're doing. You're not just saying no because for no reason, because you don't feel like doing it, right? I'm sure even if you did, if that was your reason, that's okay too. But most importantly, it's because we're tired, and we got to take care of ourselves. So I would say saying no helped a lot.
Beautiful, beautiful. And this, because I'm, ooh, child. First of all, let's just praise one. Let's just praise everybody because boundaries are our friends. Okay, um, like I need y'all to understand. I said the easiest no that you'll ever have in your life is to tell me no, because I'm gonna be the most understanding. I'm about to be like,
Hmm.
oh, good for you, good for you. Like, yes, that I'm so happy that you told me no, because I know my friends. I know all y'all are, got a million different things going on, and I even noticed that change in you too, where like, okay, I don't know if I can make that. I will see if there's another way I can support, like,
Hmm.
instead of you rearranging your schedule to
Yeah.
show up or be somewhere, it's just being transparent, like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. I'm like, good, that's good, like, let's set those boundaries. Like, we got to be able to say no in our relationships, right? Like,
Yep.
whatever it is. And I think that for me, like, when you really actually love and care about somebody, and their heart, it's not like they're saying no to you. It's not a personal rejection. Like,
Yeah.
they're just saying yes to themselves and prioritizing themselves and doing what they need to do. Okay.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
good.
Yep.
So we love that. We love that because I know my friends. Y'all be so last on the self care. I'd be like, what you do? Did you take your walk? You didn't take your walk? Okay, like
Yeah.
you remember to eat today? Oh, you didn't? Okay, well, let's get you some food, right? Like,
Drinking water, sleeping, like basic life things we're not
mhm,
doing, or I wasn't doing that great, but definitely it's getting better for sure. I'd say saying no, making time and space for yourself, that
mhm,
helps a lot with everything else that falls. When you have time to sleep. Now you have time to eat. Now you have time to drink water. You
mhm.
have time to go pee. Like you have time. So
That's
yeah.
it. Cause I know it's been hard this week, and Faye would be like, she be like this. I'm like, nah, relax. Like, we gotta, like, you gotta be uncomfortable. You gotta feel your feelings. You gotta sit in it. Sometimes shit's not sweet, and we gotta stop
Hmm.
pretending like it is, cause that's
Yeah.
a disservice. I mean, and I'm saying this as someone who also gets those reminders from y'all. Like,
Hmm.
it's like I don't always, I'm not 100% great. I just know what I need to do and I work at it every day, and I see y'all working at it every day. Um like, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You've been really putting it in. We it's just baby steps. Like, I tell everyone, I'm like, one thing at a time. Like, actually learning how to say no is the hardest thing ever, you
It
know?
really is, especially like whether it be your friends, your family, like your community, it is hard because for me, I don't know if this is everybody's reason, but I don't want people to be disappointed, like, oh, damn, this girl wasn't here for me. Or like, she
Mhm,
let me down. Like, I need this girl. I know she's going to do it good. Like, I don't want to let people feel like I let them down. So that for me, that was the biggest issue. I didn't want to say no because I don't want to leave you hanging. But at the
mhm.
same time, there are a lot of people who can support you. There are other options. You're not dying because I didn't do it.
That part. Oh man. I'm just putting these up. Our friends are in the chat reminding everyone to like, share, subscribe, all of those things for us. And quite literally, like, I think I saw this quote or something, a meme, I don't know. I see a lot of different things. But it was like, your F up, let's not try to clean it up a little bit, is not my emergency, right?
Hmm.
So, like, the way I understand it for our community, your lack of planning and lack of communication is not my mess up to fix. right?
Yeah.
And that's like, if you know, when you are the, the spokesperson, the whatever, man, the way I know Fable's phone gets blown up all the time for like, okay, we don't know, like, this last minute, can you send this out? Can you put this together? Like, it's always somebody's emergency, always somebody's emergency. And
Hmm.
then you can do 100 things for people. The one time you say no, if that's the no they want to hold on to, and they're going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, forget you, you're blah, 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 then you need to take that as your sign to let go and move on. Like,
Yeah, you're right. It's hard
that's
to, the thing is, sometimes it's hard to see it that way instead of, damn, somebody's mad at me. I let this person down. But you're 100% right. It's about hardwiring your brain to see it. No, actually, I didn't let you down. You asked me to do something last minute, and I'm sorry, I didn't have time to do it.
that's it. The
Yeah.
next part is gonna be, I'm not sorry, because what did you have to apologize for? You ain't do nothing. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
another part.
I'm still learning that one. That one's really hard because it's like part of our like just regulars, the way we talk at this point,
Yeah.
because it's so ingrained. But it's like, actually, why am I apologizing? I didn't do
Yeah.
anything. Like, like it. That's even something we have to remember. It's like, damn, we said sorry for everything. Like, somebody bumped into you. You talking about, I'm sorry? No, you
Hmm.
bumped into me, bro. Like, what?
Okay, we gotta crawl before we walk. So
That's
I'm
it.
gonna work on the other stuff and then
No,
get
no,
to the
no. I'm not
sorry.
even saying it to you. I'm saying it for us.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'd be
100%.
struggling too. I'd be like, what did I just like like I'd be confused. So I just want to make sure we understand, like, we really do have um just, like, we just have a lot like that's been put on us. What you're talking about, it all goes back to just the way that our culture, because our culture is so community and like
Hmm.
together, like everything's together and we got to do this and one for all, like, which is cool. But like I said, like, it makes it really hard to have boundaries and to have your own personal space and to take care of yourself, because everyone's quick to try to make you feel bad. And it's like, okay, but
Yeah.
how many protests have I organized? How many meetings have I gone to? Countless, like countless meetings, petitions, like everything, webinars. I'm on the ground doing this. So I think at
Hmm.
some point, and Lowell said it the other day, is just, like, we got to give ourselves way more grace than we're giving. Like,
Yeah.
we've been through hella shit. You needed to take
Yep.
time off work. I said, good, take that time off. Like,
Yep.
if you are lucky and blessed enough to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel bad about that. That's God throwing you a bone. At least for
Hmm.
me, that's who I believe in. Like, that's, whoever you believe in, that's the universe throwing you a bone. Like, hey, here's this
Yeah.
opportunity for you to get some rest. Take it. You
Yeah,
know.
100%. No, 100%. I think too, like, as a community, we need to be more mindful that people are doing stuff you don't see or you don't know about. So
Mhm.
somebody says they're not able to, it's not because they just don't want to. Half the time they're doing a million other things. You just don't have any idea about it. So I think just in general, as a community, as people individually, like, we got to give more grace to people and allow them the space, to say no and to not feel guilted about it,
That's
for
it.
sure.
That's it. And if you don't got friends like this, if this is not how you and your friends talk, then like
You might need some new friends.
yeah, you might or you guys not you might need to elevate to the next level of your friendship. You know, that's it. You don't got to throw
Hmm.
everybody away, but it's like, hey, we growing together. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do this together. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's show up for each other. Because it
Yeah.
really needs to happen. I don't.
Yep.
They're laughing. They got me in the comments laughing. Dawi was, they was finishing my sentence because they know. They said the same thing. He said, "Get you some new ones." Yeah. Um. Listen,
100%.
that's it. It's just, like, we really got to think about that. This year's been extremely hard. Um. We've lost so much. I think that at this point, like, I'm done explaining myself. I'm done with not being in those situations. Like, all we've
Hmm.
done is grown and matured faster than we probably planned on. But,
Hmm.
it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, definitely. This year taught us so much about ourselves and about our capacity. Like, whoo, wow. Yeah.
Well, that word capacity, I haven't heard it used so much in I mean, like, I use it obviously in healing spaces, right? In healing work. But when I'm telling you it has become mainstream language, I'm here for it though. I'm like,
Hmm.
yes, you guys, that's the exact word you need to know. Yo, you don't got it. You ain't got the capacity. You don't have the space. You need to
It's
take care of you.
it's people telling you what your capacity is. Like, oh no, no, you could do it. You could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. No, actually, I can't. Like, so, but that's part of
The
self growth,
reverse psychology.
understanding. Oh yeah, no, because I know if I got that, all of you guys have received that too. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I've had those lines said to me. So it's like that's what I mean by this is also self growth. Like, just understanding. Yeah, I'm not about to fall for this reverse psychology here. Like, no means no.
Hmm.
So yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Look at our friend Tadha said, "Where do you buy capacity at?" Where do you buy capacity at? And then Dowie is crying. He said, "Actually, I can't." Thank you, Babu, for telling them. That should be your new language when people come at
Yeah,
you. Actually, I can't.
actually, I
But to
can't.
answer Tadhasa's question, here's the life hack where you can buy. This is how you can buy capacity for yourself by resting. That's it. If
Yep.
you wanted a life hack, you want to buy back capacity, you need to rest. In order for you to rest, you need to have boundaries so that you can actually manage your own time and not be managed by other people's time. Like,
Ooh.
was that a
Yep.
bar?
That was a
Was
big bar. That was not even that was a diamond. Like,
That's
wow.
it. Like, that's it. If
No,
you didn't
it's
get
so
nothing else
true.
today, that one's for free. You can keep that one.
And the thing about rest, like, I don't know, we're gonna need to redefine the word rest because people think that they're resting, but you're really
Hmm.
not. Like, if you're resting and you're on Clubhouse in a toxic room listening to people gaslight you all day long, you're not resting. You're still giving yourself anxiety. Like, there's a lot of psychological shit that comes with going into spaces like that. We really need to redefine this word rest because honestly, just because you're not in a Zoom call doing whatever it is for Tigray or whatever you're dealing with, it doesn't mean you're resting. So we
Yeah.
need to do an episode on that one day. Like, what is
No,
really self-care?
we definitely can. You know me. That's all I do. That's all I do is self care every day. I think about my self care. People are like, what you doing for your self care? I got a list. Okay, listen, I got a list.
Hair mask. I
That's
know that
it.
one.
Oh yeah, I did mine last night. That's why my curls. Cece said my curls is popping. That's why I says because I did my hair
They
mask last
are.
night. Took my braids down. See, like you gotta plan it. I'm gonna just throw this gem in for them. You have to plan it. If you know that you're gonna have a stressful day, right? So if I'm Febu, you work 12s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the lingo, guys. I know the lingo. So she works 12 hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, right? Like it might be a nice quiet day, but you never know. You might get big cases, you might have like a headache,
Hmm.
stressful. Either way though, 12 hours on duty, you're tired, period. That's it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you no my brain hurts after 6, so I know yours. I know yours happy. You're fed up, and you actually have to use your brain all the time. So like what I'm telling people is, if I'm Febu, I worked for 12 hours. Guess what I'm prioritizing when I get home? Myself. Like, the questions I'm about to ask is, did I eat today? Did I drink enough water? Do I feel a little dehydrated? Oh, my skin feel a little oily. I'm about to wash my face. I'm about to do that. You know what? I need my
Hmm.
body to relax. Guess what I'm doing? I'm doing an exfoliating shower because
Hmm.
we can't change like what is happening to our people, right? We can't change the ugliness in the world. Like, there's so much that we cannot control. Guess who you get to control though? It's yourself. That's the
But you
only
know
person.
what? The way I'm ashamed of me listening to you talk about what I
What?
should be doing, because I come home from work and I'll be on a Zoom call. Like, there's many, many times that I couldn't, like, people rearrange Zoom so that way I could be there. And
Hmm.
guess what? When it's after my 12-hour shift, I run home and I hop on the call. And I'm just now, you're saying, honestly, sometimes you have to hear people say it to realize how ridiculous you are. Like, why am I doing that?
That's why you got
Anyway,
friends. Your friends are your mirrors. Because if you really love and care about your friend, you're going to tell them, like, sis, you look a little tired. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like, And it's not like, oh, you looking hurt. It's like, I can tell your body, I know your energy when you're up. This is not it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times have you, me, CC, Tedhaz, like, we'd be just talking, and Tedhaz like, you need to take a break. Like, her favorite. I can't, like, I know she in
Yes.
the comments. She earlier she said, "Get out of my business." Listen, she said, Hannah and Febu are in my business. Get out.
No, she's absolutely right. 100%. Mm-hmm.
That's
She's right.
it. You need to take a break. And how many times did I not listen? And then I got acid reflux and I had to take a break because
Yeah.
my body was like, girl, bye. Right? Like, so I'm also saying it as someone who needs a reminder as well. Like, just because I know a lot of things, but you know how difficult it is to know a lot of things? Because then I'd be like, my list be long. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that you don't want your self-care to become like extra work. You know what I mean? Like, it got to
Yeah.
be things you enjoy. Like, you just listen to your body. It's like, you know what? I feel gross right now. I'm gonna take a shower. I'm about to exfoliate. Like, or it might be like, I've been feeling really stiff and tight. And like, because I'm paying attention to my body, I'm like, all right, I need to stretch and do some yoga today. Like, it
Yeah.
looks different every day, but at least putting it into your calendar, like you put everything else. If you put meetings in your calendar, you put work in your calendar, we're right now struggling, right? Like, we're all struggling. It's been difficult. We're like coming at a year, like our minds are barely keeping it together. If you
Oh
need to
yeah.
schedule in your calendar eat so that you remember to eat, then do that. Help yourself, okay? Help your brain
Yeah.
out. Put a reminder on your calendar. Oh, I should eat. It's been 6 hours. Put that reminder on your calendar. Like, you didn't drink water, guess what? You need to put a timer on your calendar. Like, we got to stop using, like, the whole work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Like, we can't remember things anymore. Like, it's hard for our brains. It's hard for me.
Yo, I
So,
never ever used to use an agenda. When I tell you this agenda, this 2020
okay,
2021 agenda became my life. Like, I had everything in here because I literally didn't have capacity,
that's
again, our
it.
favorite word,
Our favorite
in my
word.
brain to remember like all excuse my language, all the meetings, between the meetings, the this, the that, going to work, like
I got mine too.
things I had to do for work. It became too much, and I was literally like forgetting things. So,
Mhm.
and that's what happens too. When you are stressed, like your brain is foggy. You can't recall everything. You can't remember everything. And that is not a good sign, guys. So you have to understand your body and listen to your body and take breaks when you need them.
Yeah, you have to. I'm dying. Zion said Hannah's a whole life coach. Listen.
Oh, she is. She literally is, guys. Yeah. You don't even know. Like, you guys get, oh, I wish you guys got the VIP version of her. Like,
VIP.
oh my God. She is a life coach, honestly. She really is.
It's just, because I care about me and I know I struggle, so I'm like, bro, you could just tell me. Like, you don't gotta lie, you ain't gotta lie to kick it. Like, I know I look like I got it together, but that's because I be talking to myself all day. Like, sis, you good? Oh, you not?
Mhm.
Okay. Like, like, what you need, sis. You gotta really like treat yourself like you would treat somebody you love. And like, I remember
Yeah.
seeing that and it made so much sense to me. And
Yeah.
that was the light switch that I needed for my self-care. And I was like, I know my friend does entirely too much work. I'm sure she could use an intern. Anybody looking for an internship? Faye was a great mentor. I'm just throwing it out there. No, I'm serious. Like, a virtual assistant, a whatever. Like, at this point, it's like, prioritize you. I want that to be a thing because you do so much, but also um consider like working smarter, working more strategically, and like,
Mhm.
you can work on yourself like you work on a business. You know, it's the same principles. What's your personal mission statement? What are you trying to do in life, right? Like, it can be the same thing. This is someone who studied both. I studied psych and I studied leadership. So I'm like, I promise you, it's the same thing. They lied to me. I could have just got the same degree, but it's
No,
cool.
I want to highlight what you just said, which was a bar. I hope this becomes like one of those things, those little, quotes that come out of these interviews.
Hmm.
Um, treat yourself the way you would treat somebody you actually care about. bro, that literally put things into perspective, because the way we be treating ourselves, let me not speak for everybody. Some of y'all really love yourself, good for you. But the way if I was like seeing my sister or like my friends, like really abusing themselves, because this honestly sometimes is like we're not treating ourselves the way we should be treating ourselves. So that resonated with me, because I'm just like, damn, like the way I'd be forcing me to eat more, drink more, sleep more, like,
Mhm.
wow.
Well, what do you tell your
Yeah,
patients?
I know. Trust me. Like in the early days, when I was, oh my God, trust me. Even like my doctor, when I was like going off work, he was like, no, like you literally, I don't even need to tell you this, because you tell your own patients this. Like I work with kids, for those who
Mhm.
don't know. So like things I tell parents is like, okay, you are no help to your child if you're not helping yourself. If you didn't eat today, you didn't drink today, you didn't sleep today, you can't take care of this kid. You need to go take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people.
Mhm.
My doctor told me this verbatim and said, I know you tell your families this. Why are you not, like making it apply to yourself? I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's, you know what? When you're in this situation, it's easier said than done, 100%. But, anyways, yeah, it's a work in progress. I'll say it's a work in progress. It's much better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're not meant to be perfect. Like none of us are meant to be perfect. I think the goal is, and this is how I see it now, is can you fill your toolkit, right? Like do you know what you need for different situations? I don't think we're meant to be perfect. I think we're meant to understand ourselves to the point where we can cope through what life is going to give us. And that's
Yeah.
what I was going to talk about next Monday. So I'm not going to do the whole speech right now, but like actually coping
Save
through
that.
life, is like, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
build your toolkit. That's it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
got you got to figure out those things. It's a lot. Unfortunately, we're doing it later in life, and I'm glad that they're
Mm-hmm.
starting to do it with kids earlier now in terms of like emotional intelligence and self-awareness and all of these things, because had you learned it in your childhood, right? Like instead of being dictated to and being told what to do all the time, if you were actually exploring and figuring yourself out, then at your big age now, like, and it's not even really a big age, people live to be 100, but in our mind, in our mind
Yeah.
where it's our big age, you would know what you need. But
Mm-hmm.
we're still at like that handicap because we haven't done the work. And I'm saying that like we collectively as a community, we weren't given those tools. Our parents were really on survival. And that's why I forgive them for so much. They didn't have anything, they didn't know these things. Also, the culture is not set up that way. So it's really
Exactly.
just one of those things that the point of this is what are you doing, especially with the anniversary coming up, which I wanted you to speak about too. I had to remind you, like, we have a big 1 year anniversary coming up, for this war starting, right? And the reason why I asked about the self-care and why we even decided to have this part of the conversation was because I know that that's going to be a lot for people to deal with. So I hope that you're listening to this, you're hearing this, and like you're taking that into account over the next few weeks. You really, really need to prioritize yourself. And I know that that also is coming with more work on your plate, Febu and UTC, because like globally, everyone is planning a celebration. So did you want to plug that in real quick before we start
Yeah.
the
Yeah, so this is more Canadian initiative, less a UTC for this part, but Canada, oh, my Siri is talking to me. Hold on. Okay. Canada is doing a 2-day national protest, November 4th and 5th. It's going to be in Ottawa, and a lot of people from around the area, Toronto, Kitchener, Windsor, Montreal, all those surrounding cities will be there. There's a lot of organization going into this. So there's buses organized to bring people from Toronto. There's hotels planned. There will be a protest, like a march on both days, and there'll be a candlelight vigil and a sit-in. So there's a lot organized. Stay tuned. We already put out the save the date, but there's going to be an official flyer coming out really soon. But it's November 4th and 5th. So if you are in Ontario or close by, I would suggest coming if you can. And then in terms of UTC, we have a lot of planned for our social media. So there's going to be a Twitter campaign, but I think that'll be kind of a global effort.
Mhm.
And also we have something planned, like the week leading up to the 1 year, there will be a post highlighting many different aspects of the war, like famine, the sexual violence, massacre, that kind of thing. So there'll be a video, a TikTok. Like we have a lot planned for that week and then the day of. So definitely come through, guys.
Yeah. Make sure you're following them on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. They are United Tegaru CA on every platform. We love consistency, as a brand person, I love consistency. So we love that. We want to make sure that you guys are well informed. The US, we're going to all be in DC for that week, so November 4th through the 7th or something like that. It's multiple days. Yeah, November 4th through the 7th, we'll be in DC also protesting and doing things. So make sure you're following um the appropriate pages to get those updates, y'all, because like I said, the grind has not stopped. But what you can do is take time, take turns, switch out,
Mm-hmm.
rotate, whatever you got to do. Because if you not good, like if you burn yourself out, you're not gonna have anything left to give.
Exactly.
Actually, I've been trying to take out this whole grind culture out of my vocabulary. I was listening to, no, I swear, I was listening to a podcast and they were just talking about, like, think about what it means to grind. Like, you're grinding down. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, you're literally like, what's going to be left? You keep grinding, grinding, grinding. Eventually, there's not going to be anything left. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Hmm.
I
That's an
haven't
interesting
figured out,
perspective.
right? I haven't figured out the appropriate, not the appropriate, but like better language yet. So, we're working on that. But what I wanted to do, and you know how I like to wrap up. So, firstly, I think you kind of alluded to this earlier, but what would be the advice that you would give to your younger self or to people who might be not where you're at, or whatever the case is, and they're trying to get there? Like, what would your advice be?
My advice would be mainly number one, pursue something you're passionate about, because passion drives the work you do. Like if you're not passionate in what you're doing, you're not going to do a good job. Your mind and your heart is not going to be in it. So pursue things you're passionate about. The second thing is live your life for you. Do
Mm,
what fulfills you. Don't do what fulfills your parents, your community, your friends, whatever. Like especially in our community, I really want to drive that point home, because there is so much external pressure for us growing up Habesha, or immigrants in general, that it's so important to know what is fulfilling to you, what makes you happy, and do that. Don't do it because it's making somebody else happy, because ultimately your happiness sacrifices. So I would say that. And then lastly, do things intentionally and with a purpose. So those would be kind of my advice for younger me's out there.
okay, we love it. She said, do
Mhm.
something that you're passionate about, be intentional. What, wait, oh, what was in the middle?
Do what fulfills you, not your
Okay.
friends and family.
Yeah, and guess what? What was the common thing of all of that? Those were I things. That was individual things that you have to do, and the only way you can do that is if you do your work, your internal work to figure out who you are. How you gonna know what you're passionate about if you've never even asked yourself? Like,
Hmm.
if
You
you,
so,
you
I'm
know.
just thinking self-reflection is something that comes like it doesn't come early enough on in life. You know what I mean? Like you
Mhm.
become woke with your feelings too late in life for most people, I think. You don't really start reflecting on like what makes you actually happy, what all these things. I feel like we don't do enough self-reflection until we're later on in the game. And I would really encourage all you young people out there. I mean, young people, I talk like I'm old, but anyways, all the youngins out there, do self-reflecting. Think about what's actually making you happy, not what you think is going to make your mom and dad happy, your friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. So that, yeah, I think that's important.
Yes, no, we love it. And our favorite question, because you always be in the comments when I ask this. Um, what is it that you want your legacy to be?
Okay, I think my legacy, like
The
if
deep
I
breath. It's
die
the deep
today,
breath for me. It's the deep
it
breath.
is. I know, because this question is just a lot. But
Mhm.
like if I died today, what would I want people to remember me for? Like my legacy, what I hope people remember and take on is to be, and especially mainly, I think a lot of this also is influenced by the war and what's going on. Like, I really want us as Tagarus to be proud of who we are and where we came from. And really, I really want to instill the importance of education, educating ourselves in our history and our culture, just so that like down the line, people are not out here trying to erase us and like our legacy and our history and our culture, and we have the tools to make sure that doesn't happen. You know, we can pass that down. So educating ourselves on those topics and really just being proud of that and all that, that would be my legacy. That's what I hope people remember. And like that's why Tariq Time is so important to me. Like and speaking of Tariq Time, okay, let me get back to Tariq Time after, but actually, but like why it's so important to me is because like people don't want to do research. That's the bottom line, obviously. You know, it's a lot of work to do important historical kind of research. And also another issue with our culture and our people in general is we didn't document a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is word of mouth. So Tariq Time is so crucial for us because it's literally served to you on a freaking platform. You know, all you have to do is click play, pop in the AirPods, and you're good to go. You know, so I don't know. I just think it made it so convenient for everybody to know about themselves. All you have to have is an interest. Really, that's all it takes today. So yeah. And speaking of Tariq Time, if you guys have any more ideas of like things you want to learn about Tigris history, culture, whatever, please DM us, United Tegaru CA. You can DM me personally too, Fembad on Instagram. So whatever it is, email us, whatever way, just let us know, because for me, it's so important. I think that's like one of the most important things.
Look at you over here, supposed to be talking about yourself and still plugging other things. I told you, she stays on mission. Okay, the hell, you need to write the book on PR because I don't even do that great. Um, I'm cracking up. Cece's right. You know, Cece is a gem catcher. Okay, if ever there was a gem catcher, it is Cece. That girl don't let she nothing
You
passes
become
her.
woke with your feelings too late in life. I mean, that's a bar. That I'm talking about me too. Like I feel like I was not woke about me and like what I want for me, because I was so preoccupied thinking about what I want for my family and like what's best for them. You know, sometimes you don't think about yourself and you really do need to. So, oof, yeah, that's a whole other issue.
She
Really
said,
is.
"Oh, I'm telling you, it's the big size for me. It's the big it's the big size for me." I'm like, "Oop, let's put a pin in that and let's make sure we come back to those." Yeah, no, we can talk about self-reflection and self-care, all of those things, because it's going to be needed all of November. I'm not going to be doing lives all of November as part of my self-care. So y'all can catch me on Clubhouse. I'll
Good
host a
for
room
you.
there. Yeah, I need a break. I'm anticipating, this is going to be difficult, and even if I handle it well, I still want to take a break to just give my body some time. Um
Yeah.
so, my favorite part, I wasn't sure what you were gonna say for the legacy question. I was like, I wonder which route she's gonna go. I really wonder which route, because you be trying to surprise people, but I I don't think anybody is going to be confused about where you're from. Let's just start there. I
I
don't
hope
think
not.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be confused about where you're from, how you show up, how unapologetic you are about like advocating for yourself. What I will say that, like, for sure about you, I don't even think it's stubborn. I just think that, like, you think maybe you don't feel like you're tapped into your emotional being and like that part of your self-reflection, but when I tell you, like, I've never seen somebody stand firmer in like their thoughts and their process and who they are, and who's just very honest and transparent about it. If you've ever had a conversation with Feben, she goes, that's not how I saw it, but okay.
Yeah,
like
that's a fact.
like she's
100%.
always like stood really like strong and true in like herself. Like, she's not gonna lie, she's not gonna fake it to kick
Mm-mm.
it, she's not gonna
Mm-mm.
pretend she knows something when she doesn't. She's gonna be like,
Mm-mm.
oh, okay, that's interesting, I didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
before.
That's
Okay.
new
Like,
news. That's
yeah.
news to me. Yep.
And she's like, okay, I'll look into that later, and she really will. She'll go and she'll Google
Mm-hmm.
it later and then tell you, okay, so I looked into that thing, and then she'll have a conversation with you. So
Yep.
what I want to
That's
affirm
facts.
for you is, like, I don't think the bar for that legacy has been met, is what I'm saying. I don't think anybody who knows you, who even knows you from a distance, would ever confuse where you're from, what you stand for, who you stand against, right? Like I don't think
Mhm.
so, and I think it shows immensely because you feel like, Tariq Time is Uncle and Danny, but the facilitation, the asking, because you're the voice that of us, those of us who
Mhm.
don't know the history, who don't know the culture. And what you said was really strong, is like, I just need to have an interest. I've never met somebody so determined to like accomplish anything that she puts her mind to, like, honestly and truly. Like, we joke, we make fun of Febu, those of us who are friends. She goes, guys, I'm gonna learn Tigrinya. We're like, okay. She comes back and she's like proficient. That's it. That's it. 5 weeks. She goes, yeah, guys, that's it. 5 weeks later, she's like, reading and writing. It doesn't matter how slow, she's getting it done, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
it is such a commendable like characteristic and just part of who you are, that like I'm just completely floored by, like, all the time.
Thanks,
Where I'm like,
Ruta.
who is
Oh my
this girl?
gosh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for real. You just be like, I'll be like, what you working on now? Okay, that's it. Like, she doesn't even talk that much. She just, okay, let's go. Do. Like, she, she is ready. And I'm telling you, I meet people, and I counsel a lot of people who have the opposite problem, who are not
Yeah.
self-starters, who are not self-motivated, who struggle to like get up and go, right? And I be trying to get you to like sit down and slow down, right? But
Yeah.
I just think it's such a gift, and it's one that you use for good. And so I'm like really excited to see how that grows, because I think that the legacy of people being proud of who they are, it starts with you, and you being proud of who you are, and you standing in your truth and making space for other people to stand in theirs. And you probably take it for granted because that's just who you are, like, every day. But that is in and of itself like the legacy building. Like, I'm sure people look around and they're like, okay, like, she hella proud, I could be proud too, like, like,
Hmm. I
you
hope so. I really do hope so.
yeah, you influencing people. What you mean? I like
Aw.
you out here influencing people. You're getting them connected. They're doing the work. You're doing the work. You show up. You show out all the time. I think our community just lacks this whole like, let's give people their flowers when they're here.
Yeah.
So I just think it's gonna be super dope. That's why I wanted you to like fill people in. Like, UTC has grown. I don't know what it's gonna look like in 5 years from now. Like, the type of creativity and work ethic and leadership. Honestly, there's not a lot of people I would follow. I would follow you. And
Thank you, Ruta.
yeah,
That means a lot, honestly.
yeah.
That's
There's
so nice.
I was like, me. I'm not following a lot of people. I'm not. So those of you in the comments, you
Wait,
don't know. That's high praise. Okay.
you brought up one thing. I have to plug this in. Because people are probably like, oh, why does she know how to read and write? What is Mackie, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, okay, the reading and writing of Tigrinya, I just want to say, it's not that hard. Trust me. I was like you guys. I didn't know one fidel from the next. Okay. Bond Unbroken. Google Bond Unbroken. You guys can DM me too. I'll put you on. But if you actually have an interest in learning to read and write, it's really not that hard. Yeah, you just anything in life. Hey, there's YouTube University, Google University. You can learn anything online these days, by the way. You just have to want to learn how to do it. You just have to have that interest. So that's it. And Ruta and these girls always make fun of me. They'll say like, I'll sell water to a fish. But the thing about me is when I want something, when I'm determined, when I have an interest in something, I'm determined for that, right? And like just like as a side note, why I wanted to learn and read and write Tigrinya is because I wanted before the war too. But really, what are you giggling at? Something
I'm
in the
giggling at
comments?
the mess. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
We said we follow you too. But
thank you,
this is
Terhas.
what she really said that I was laughing at.
Yeah.
She said, I was like, you guys, our
Okay.
friends are great trolls. No, she's being serious. Bond unbroken. I know myself. I don't like to start things if I'm not gonna be 100% committed. And
That's it.
Fable's like, she's gonna start it and she's gonna finish it. She's
No,
like, that's
100%.
it.
I don't like my thing. I get anxiety when I have too many jobs on the go, like too many tabs open. Like, that's not me. So if I put my mind to something, I'm committing to it. That's why I can't take on too many things, because I can't commit 100% to everything. But anyways, I just got sick and tired of not understanding the trolls writing in Tigrinya and Facebook, YouTube, whatever it was. Like, I was annoyed. I couldn't keep up with the trolling. So that was really the fire under my ass to make me learn how to read and write. I want to preface that I'm not an expert just by any means. I don't want you guys like DMing me in Tigrinya thinking I'm going to understand that much. Like, I read like a kindergartner, right? It's each fidel, I'm sounding it out, right? But whatever, I can get the job done. That's
Listen,
all.
you better than me. I learned it and forgot it. I literally had a whole tutor. I was in McCullough, had a whole tutor. I was learning it. I was doing the same thing like you at a very kindergarten level. And I went back to America, back to university books. I was like, hold on, I got time for this. These books are big. Hold on. So now that I don't have to read those, I'm going to find the time. That's going to be part of my self-care in November. Not doing live shows is going to actually free up a lot of my time to like do
For
other
sure.
things. So I'm excited. I might finally start vlogging, so you guys will be like, "Oh, she's not there. I'm still here. I'm just not. You just can't see me." So there's the difference.
She's always here, guys. Don't think she's not here. She's here.
All the time, every time I check my messages, I'm still consistent. Even when I'm off, like I still am working on something. You just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So y'all, that is Black Women Wednesdays. My girl Febu holding it down like always. Yes, congrats to you. You are doing amazing work, phenomenal, and I'm lucky that I get to click end stream and still be able to talk to you. I like, we can call each other and be friends. And y'all, it really starts with like showing love to other people. Okay, like y'all, if you missed it, I read our first couple DMs. Show love to people; they will show love back. It's really that simple,
Yep.
And you never know. A year from now, 2 years from now, you might end up on a show with them too. You never know. You don't know how
You
this is gonna
never
work out.
know.
You just
You
show up for
never
your
know.
people. That's all you got to do. Show up, show love, be kind, do the right thing. All those cliche things, and Fable is exemplary of that. So I hope y'all learned a lot from today's episode. Thanks to all our friends who are tuning in. You guys, please go make sure that you like, share, subscribe. If you are not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Hit the notification bell so that you know all the times that we are live. The catalog is long, and if you're not following, make sure you are following United Tegaru Canada on everything, on all platforms. Keep yourself informed. And if you have not listened to Tariq Time, I don't know what you're doing. Another dope podcast. By the way, my favorite episode is still on the Buddhas, and we could talk about that offline. My
Mine too.
favorite, my favorite episode. So I appreciate everybody. Tomorrow I will be on Clubhouse for the Uproot Your Trauma series that we have going on there. As always, thank you so much. Sammy wanted to be a troll, and he wrote something in Tigrinya because he's goofy. So I'm gonna.
I know it says Feben and Hannah naked meet. Yes.
Yes, look at you, show off. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Sammy.
Yes, so we love it. So thank you, everybody. We will see you on the interwebs. Thank you, Fable.
Thank you, Ruta. Love you guys.
Love y'all.